Right, so this is the scene.
Hmm. For some reason, I'm getting flashbacks to Breaking Bad now.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen that show. You know that you must act with all the haste, for Archduke Kadak is still alive, and wherever he is present, you can be sure he's plotting to capture or kill you. Probably both. Below lies that which you have come here to destroy. But how will you accomplish your task? Relentlessly, the seconds tick by as you try to formulate a plan. Then you see something which sparks an idea. The pipes that feed fluids to the laboratory's disposal tanks are connected to a massive cauldron suspended from the ceiling by a winch and chain. You focus upon a plaque fixed to the side of the great vat and magnify your vision until you can read what has been engraved upon it. With grim satisfaction, you read the words, Danger, Concentrated Acid. Here's the key to the destruction of the virus. If you can cause the cauldron to tilt over far enough, it will discharge its content into the hall below, flooding the virus-laden tables with thousands of gallons of concentrated acid.
And killing every single scientist present.
Yep.
But
That's just a bonus, isn't it?
There's no kill like overkill.
Elated by your daring plan, you look for a way to reach the winch which controls the angle at which the cauldron hangs from the ceiling. It is positioned high upon a platform atop an iron gantry, which is accessible only by ladder. Fortunately, this ladder begins on the far side of the gallery. Confident in your purpose, you hurry around the gallery towards the ladder. You're within 20 paces when suddenly the harsh clang of an alarm bell fills the hall. You've been seen. Screams of "Intruder!" echo from below as you run headlong towards the ladder. You reach it and begin your climb towards the secondary platform, located directly below the one which supports the winch. You're only 6 rungs away from the platform when suddenly the faces of 2 acolytes of Vashna appear over the edge. They curse and spit on you as they try to stab you with their spears. Do you wish to use magi magic?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
yes,
Wait, do we have that?
Yep.
we have
Okay,
it.
then let's.
You drop back a few rungs just far enough to put you beyond reach of the spear blades, and then you perform the movement of a battle spell that Lord Remor calls the Invisible Fist. You clench your right fist and then extend your arm and open your palm towards the enemy. A tinkling rush of power surges along your arm, and an instant later you see the acolytes tumbling backwards, knocked over by the concussive force of the spell. You seize your chance and swiftly ascend to the platform.
Apparently, he just turned us into a Jedi.
Yep.
Nice.
A well-aimed kick sends one of the acolytes toppling over the edge to fall, screaming into the midst of some glass boxes on an experiment table far below. His partner is back on his feet, weapon in hand, and he meets your stare with a sneer that readily conveys his hatred of your race. But you're both humans, aren't you? Then spurred on by the yells of his confederates in the hall below.
Humans, a species.
Okay. He jumps forward and thrusts his weapon at your throat. Also, how can you see on his face that he's racist? He might just be really pissed that you're intruding, you know? Also, there's a picture of the guy.
We'll see.
So apparently this is how people look in the face when they're racist. Should be easy enough to recognize in the future.
Is this
Let
door
us
not
see.
open, Mr. Dentist?
Let us see this picture.
You know, if that hood was white and covered his face, he kind of looked like a Klansman.
You know what? I need to be completely honest. He might be raging, he might be very evil looking, but seriously, that puny spear compared to the fact that we carry around a divine weapon. Get out of here before we kill you.
You're fighting an acolyte of Vashna, protected by a medallion of protection.
Ooh,
Huh.
nice.
So yeah, roll the die.
Sure, 6.
Right. The guy charges at you, screaming, and stabs with all his might, resulting in a plink as the thing that touches you. You lose 1 endurance point from the bruise that causes. There's a short pause as you two look at each other, and then he looks quite forlorn. That is before you stab him with your sword. Then he just looks like he's in pain.
Or, you know, more probably very dead.
No, he's not dead yet. He's not dead yet.
Ow!
The amulet's keeping him alive. Roll the die again.
9.
Though not this time. You pull your sword back and swing with all your might. And there is a moment where the guy looks down at his stomach, trying to figure out if you're hit or not. Then both his arms falls off. Then his torso falls off. You conclude that he is in fact dead.
Okay, that was sort of a slice and dice movement worthy of a samurai.
As the acolyte's body falls limply to the platform, you sheath your weapon and take hold of a ladder which ascends to the winch. All eyes in the hall below are watching you ascend, and when they suddenly realize what it is you're trying to do, pandemonium breaks out. Hysterical screams of anger and fear merge into a dreadful cacophony, which fills the hall with clamoring echoes. You glance down at their faces contorted by rage, and as you do so you glimpse a new threat to your safety. A handful of Vashak archers are scurrying out of the portal, which connects Kadak's chamber to the gallery. They spread out along the parapet and begin firing at you with their lacquered bows. Black-fetched arrows whistle past on either side, their barbed heads passing dangerously close to your legs and feet. Roll the die. Oh, and add 4 because you have a hunt mastery. Grand hunt
Oh,
mastery.
14 then.
Arrows ricochet from the iron rungs and pass perilously close to your legs, but your agility and the speed of your ascent save you from being hit. Undaunted by the barrage, you continue climbing towards the winch with increased determination. You reach the top of the ladder and haul yourself onto the winch platform. Now the whistling shaft strikes and splinters usually against the underside of this metal floor, which hides you from the archer's view. You run to the winch and examine the gears and chains, trying at once to understand their workings and find a way to cause the cauldron to discharge its corrosive content into the hall below. But the device is designed to prevent the chance of this occurring. The only way you can make the cauldron spill its deadly load is by severing a thick metal pin which secures the heavy chain to its rim. Anxiously you glance over the edge of the platform at the confusion raging in the hall below. 3 druids, having recognized your intentions, are trying desperately to gather together the virus samples from their cultivation vats. The vats are fixed to the tables, triple sealed with protective glass to prevent accidental leaks, and it is precisely this elaborate protection which now confounds the druids' frantic effort to save their plague cultures. Well, I gotta admire their hard work to make sure they don't accidentally spread the virus among themselves. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice that the first of the Vashak archers is now climbing the ladder to the winch platform, and you know you must act swiftly and effectively if you are to fulfill your quest. You draw your weapon and slide it between the pin and the body of the cauldron. You cannot break the thick iron pin, but you may be able to lever it away from the chain. And roll the die and add 4 because you're using the summer sword.
12.
Straining with all your might, you pull back on your weapon in desperate attempt to prise the heavy chain from its mounting. Then there's a loud crack. The support pin has popped out, and as the massive weight of the cauldron is suddenly removed, the chain whips away like an angry snake. Roll the die.
9.
The heavy chain whips towards your face, but your reactions are lightning fast. You pull yourself away and it misses you by inches. Then you move forward to the platform's edge to watch with grim fascination as the gigantic acid-filled cauldron plummets into the hall below. The cauldron smashes down into the center of the hall and explodes with devastating effect, spewing its deadly contents in all directions. A tidal wave of acid engulfs the table, submerging and burning everything not made of stone, porcelain, or glass. Which just makes me think, if the plague cultures were inside the glass containers, wouldn't they be protected?
I guess so.
What are the tables made of?
I don't know. The pitiful screams of the druids rise above the thunderous din as they and their deadly work are consumed by a merciless sea of corrosive. Suddenly an arrow passes within a few inches of your face. The Vashak archers have reached the top of the ladder and are poised to rush onto the platform itself. Anxiously you look around for some means of escape, but when none readily appears you fear you are trapped. Then you notice an observation platform jutting out of the wall. It's over on the far side of the hall, more than 30 yards away, and lies some 10 feet below your present position. A daring escape plan forms in your mind's eye, and hurriedly you cast off your Xena robe and mask, a disguise which is now redundant, and prepare to enact your vision. Remove the robe and mask. Completely.
We are now a naked Kai Master.
I think I have
we
clothes
still
on
have
underneath.
We still have our training tunic and our chainmail armor and all other sorts of armor that we are wearing.
Yeah. You reach out and grab hold of the chain which once supported the cauldron. Then, using all your strength, you draw it back and leap into the air as the momentum carries you off the platform. Your stomach churns as you swing across the hall and glance down at the dreadful carnage taking place 100 feet below. Angry squeals and a clutch of arrows follow in your wake as the Vashak artist try desperately to prevent you from getting away. Grimly, you cling to the jade as it nears the end of its arc and try to ignore the arrows that are whistling by on either side. What's your endurance score, by the way?
Our endurance, give me a moment. We currently have 20.
Okay. Roll the die, give me an add 2 because you have a Grand Hunt Mastery.
10.
Unbelievable. You grit your teeth and fix your eyes on the observation platform as you wait for the chain to reach the end of its arc. Upon the instant the momentum stops, you release your grip and hurtle through the air towards the platform's rail. You have timed your jumping to perfection. You skim the rail and land on the metal floor, roll over to lessen the impact, and then spring to your feet and run towards the inviting darkness of the doorway which services the platform. Beyond the doorway is a flight of stone steps which ascend into the gloom. You pound up the steps, your heart beating in time with your feet, and emerge at a chamber which is lit by foul-smelling torches fixed around the walls. 2 passages lead out of this room, one towards the west, the other towards the east. You pause for a moment to use your magnetized senses of divination and pathmanship, but you detect nothing unusual about either passage. So, west or east?
East?
Whatever.
So,
You follow this dark passage for several minutes before arriving at what appears to be a dead end. You're about to turn around and retrace your steps when suddenly your senses alert you to an ornately carved brick in the facing wall. On a close examination, you discover a keyhole and a Cinerese engraving which bears the seal of Archdruid Karak. Using your Magnifier skills, you examine the keyhole and discover that the wall is in fact a concealed door. You attempt to pick the lock, but it is shielded by a powerful spell which you cannot overcome. Reluctantly, you are forced to abandon... Hey, by the way, you didn't have a gold key, did you?
let me have a look. I will just quickly investigate. Gold key in... no, it could not be backpack because... Let me have a look. We have a gold key in our special items.
Huh. Well, what do you know? You insert the gleaming key into the keyhole and twist it clockwise. There's a faint click, and as you push, the wall glides inwards, then moves away to your right. It reveals a small, well-kept chamber, its walls lined with shelves containing hundreds of stoppered jars, each one neatly labeled. The jars contain all manner of compounds and elements, from worthless dirt to precious gold dust and many herbs besides. You search along the shelves and take down half a dozen jars whose contents you recognize. There's 5 doses of Laum Spur, which restores wondrous points. 4 doses of Alether, which increases combat skill by 2. Gallow Brush, which is apparently 2 doses of Gallow Brush, which apparently cause people to fall asleep. Sabito, 2 doses of that, which enables you to breathe underwater. Laum Ward, 3 doses of that, restores 2 endurance points. Cannot be used in combat. Uid, 1 dose, restores 10 endurance points.
Well, I think we should take the weed then. Not just sound like our High Lord is smoking something.
Yeah, that might be, but I would say that we take the one that made people fall asleep because... Yeah, but as I said...
How many inventory spaces do you have? I believe you ate everything, so you should have at least 3.
Yeah, let us see, 3, yeah.